Hi there, Massy here, author of the Guidebook to Happiness and founder of World's Biggest Gym. And thank you very much for joining me for this short presentation. I always say short, it's not necessarily short, but it's packed with great information. What we're going to talk about is the two keys, the biggest keys to happiness and success. Now, this is a presentation I normally teach live or deliver live, but I've decided to record it because I know what it's like trying to get time zones and get in time zones and show up for live webinars. Great if you can make it, but if the time just doesn't work, then you miss out. And I didn't want you to miss out. This is really important stuff that I want to share with you. So let's get straight into it because I know your time is precious. So here's a question for you. Would you like to experience A, more success in your life, B, feel less emotional pain, C, experience lots more energy, D, be crystal clear about what you want in life, or option E, and I think you, like pretty much everyone else, would like a little bit more of all of that. So that's what this presentation is about. It's about what are some of the key things that we can do. The book I wrote, The Guidebook to Happiness, really is about the do's and don'ts when it comes to raising our default level of happiness. So the same thing I'm going to do here is talk about two super key ingredients to having all of those things. Now, this applies equally to relationships, finances, joy, career, because we can't work on self, changing the inner game, without it flowing over and affecting all of these things. So there's some pretty powerful, positive stuff to come out of this. So I look forward to spending the next bunch of minutes with you as I introduce you to some of this stuff. Now, have you ever felt like this? Like you feel like you're dragging something along, taking you 3 steps backwards and 1 step forward as you sort of have an idea, but not such a clear idea about where you want to go. So 2 of the biggest emotional drives that drive us, and this is no surprise to you, if you're here, you obviously are into personal development, you're into growth, you're into trying to understand what you can do to continue forward. So I'm sure you've heard before, 2 of the biggest emotional drives about avoiding pain and moving towards pleasure. So if those are the 2 key drivers, how can we tap into the power of those? And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. Now, here's my rap sheet. Author of the Guidebook to Happiness, ex-Army Major. I was in the Australian Army for about 14 years. Consultant to the Olympic Games. I worked on Olympic Games all over the world. NLP Master Practitioner, Hypnotherapist, Life Coach, Reiki Master, Fitness Trainer, Corporate Trainer, founder of World's Biggest Gym. But the main thing I want to talk about and introduce you to was once upon a time I believed I was unlucky. I went through life and went through my sort of late teens, early 20s, thinking, geez, I'm unlucky. I'm always the person that gets caught when something goes wrong. I'm always the wrong person at the wrong person at the right place, the right person at the wrong place. So I forever thought I was Mr. Unlucky. And then I did a course. I did a course back in 1999, and this course went for a period of time, about 30 days. By the end of this course, I believed, not just theoretically, but I believed at a deeper level I was Mr. Lucky. I made some big distinctions in my life. I made some significant changes, and my life took an incredible turn of direction. So, one of the things that came out of that was I want to pass this on. I'm going to give everyone else the opportunity to make such a huge change. Because one of the things that happened when I sort of turned into this Mr. Lucky thing, or this belief of being Mr. Lucky, I was in the military at the time. I was looking at getting out of the military. I'd been travelling and racking up some bills over time, and I decided I needed some money to clear my debts before I got out of the army. So I thought, maybe an extra $100 a week would be enough to just pay those niggling debts, get them out of the way, so I have a clean bill of health and a clean financial bill of health when I leave the forces. So I've sort of had this in mind, and then all of a sudden, the colonel, a couple of levels above my boss, got deployed somewhere. My boss went into his job, and I sort of got stepped up into this new role. And this new role was going to pay me an extra $100 a week. But that wasn't the amazing thing out of it. That was amazing enough. The amazing thing was my role didn't change at all. So for doing absolutely nothing extra, I was suddenly getting paid an extra $100 a week. It was, this was the point where I'm like, hey, I am Mr. Lucky. So I'm going to talk about, this change, what sort of constitutes this change and how it all happens. And that's the first big piece we're going to talk about. So step one, moving away from pain. And the big question is, is it your beliefs that are stopping you from moving to your next level? And, a belief like, why is life so hard? Is it that belief that is actually causing you to drag these limiting beliefs, which actually drains you of energy? So what we want to do is we want to move away from that pain, and we can move away from that pain when we cut those limiting beliefs. And we don't only cut them, we switch them. We switch a limiting belief for an empowering belief. When we do that, we actually give ourselves back energy. We revitalize ourselves. We re-energize ourselves. And I've seen it happen a ridiculous amount of times. So I'm going to talk about a couple of those as well. This client of mine I had this belief. And a belief is just a statement that someone buys into. And I'm going to talk about, how they are created. Because I want you to understand at a deeper level. And when you understand at a deeper level, it's much easier to transition into change as well. So this client of mine decided that she had this belief that I get fifth choice. And the reason was she was the fifth child. She had 4 older siblings. So she always did get, when she was growing up, last choice. Now she leaves home and she's in her 30s now, and she still carries that same belief, but it's in the back of her mind. It's subconscious. She doesn't even know she does it. Because what she does in life is she sees the jobs that are available and she thinks, oh, I can't have the first choice or the second choice or third choice. So she's almost stopping herself from even looking and considering those and choosing the average job. She does the same thing in relationships. She does the same thing in almost everything that she does in her life. When she comes to making choices, for some reason she has a belief in her back of the head which causes her to believe that she can't have first choice. So what do? We do exactly that. We form an empowering belief, and we do a bit of an NLP technique to switch this belief out, to get rid of this, I get fifth choice, and now she gets first choice. She actually starts believing it. And the way that changes her life is, just so incredible on so many different levels. So then she actually, has the opportunity. She sees or meets different guys in her life, and she goes, I would like to be with that guy first and foremost. Because she believes she's entitled to the choice, she actually goes and approaches and asks. And so often when we ask for something, we actually get it, instead of just sitting back waiting. So she actually changed her life. She changed the relationship she was in. She changed the work she was doing. She started choosing the things that she most wanted to do. So it was just a belief that she was holding back. So this is the basics of belief, and this is, overly simplistic. But in a general sense, our beliefs cause us to act in a particular way. They actually determine what sort of behaviour we have. If we believe the world is an unsafe place, we're more likely to behave in a way where we're looking over our shoulder, we're quite nervous, which means we're more likely to get certain results. If we're the timid-looking person, we're more likely to get picked on. And studies have shown this specifically. If someone believes that their life is under threat, or it's a scary place outside, they're sort of cowering along, they're all sort of curled up on themselves, they're more likely for someone to come over to them aggressively and take advantage of that. Versus the 80-year-old woman who doesn't believe the world is unsafe, who walks around confidently, no one touches her. She behaves in a way that is reflective of her belief, and so she gets completely different results. So the basic thing is, if we change our beliefs, we change our behaviour, and we've changed our behaviour, we get a whole new set of beliefs, a whole new set of results, I should say. So how are beliefs formed? So essentially, I've got that child there. Our brain, as it goes through development, the greatest time of development, or the first greatest stage of development, is from 0 to 7. And in that time, our mind is like a sponge. It's just sponging everything up. And our mind is actually in a theta brainwave state, which is the same as hypnosis. And if you know anything about hypnosis, is under hypnosis, people take things literally. You are a plank. You are a cat. You are a whatever it is. So someone under the right hypnosis can be told a particular thing which they believe. So what happens is, according to what our parents believe, according to what we're picking up from society, we're just sponging all these things in. So we're taking in all these beliefs, and they're forming the software. So maybe our mother or maybe our father, and this is not a witch hunt blaming anyone, maybe they gave us something that might have been useful for them and might have been useful for them 30 years ago, but not useful for you as a unique individual, for you living in 2013. So that's the difference there. So what we end up with is we got a lot of programs playing in our head that aren't relevant for us, aren't relevant for the environment we live in, aren't relevant for the year that we live in, aren't relevant for the society we live in. So what we need to do is we really need to have a look at the software. Now, I just made a little note there. It's not 100% their fault. So no one's blaming mum or dad. They just worked on the best information they had based on what they were taught by their parents. So what does this mean to us? So it means that we've got this subconscious mind, and I've drawn a picture of the big subconscious mind versus small conscious mind, because really the powerhouse within our mind is that subconscious space. Because there's this little thing that suggests that 95% of the time we're actually running on autopilot. And that means 5% of the time we're actually working consciously. We're actually consciously aware of what we're doing, consciously aware of our behaviour, consciously aware of our response. So that's just a general number. Now we can raise our level of consciousness, and that is the thing that really sets us apart, that really makes a change in our life. But the big thing to take away is that we're running on these old programs. So what they are is other people's beliefs and other people's programs. So what we need to do is actually do an audit of our beliefs. Get rid of the stuff that doesn't work and replace it with stuff that is so much better. And here's the thing about beliefs. Beliefs are not universal law. They're not 100% true. In 100% of cases, we actually make them true. So there is a person that can prove, or someone that's done the absolute opposite of what you believe, and they've made something work. And there's not just one way of doing things. If you think you have a belief and it's a law, if someone else disproves your belief by, overcoming what you have, obstacles you have in front of you and achieving whatever it is, then your belief isn't a universal law. Because it's not a universal law, you can get rid of it. Now, a universal law is like gravity. You can't fight gravity. Whether you believe it, don't believe it, regardless of what age you are, what gender you are, what nationality you are, what height you are, it will work 100% of the times. You step off that cliff, you're going down. If you're heavier than air, you're going down. That's a universal law. Our beliefs, 99.9% of them are just things that we've made true. Okay, so here's another example of a client. So this client had this belief, I must be liked by everyone, which actually made them extremely nervous in social situations. So they were having problems in social engagements because they were so nervous about whether people would like them. And because they're already starting to try and second guess this, they actually made themselves come across as a little weird. So then people would reject them, and then it would confirm for that person, yes, I must be weird. People must think there's something wrong with me. So what do? We get rid of that. And we form this new belief, this empowering belief, which says it's okay if people don't like me. What happens? That person becomes more relaxed in these social settings because they're less worried about whether people will like them or not. And because they're more relaxed, they're more themselves. And because they're more themselves, people want to engage with them. People want to get to know them. They find it so much easier. So this client actually changed their fear and the results they were getting in a social context by changing their belief. Now, what should I believe? I don't try and tell anyone that they need to believe what I believe. What you need to believe is anything that makes you feel empowered. Because what happens when we're empowered, so whatever our belief is, if it makes us feel relaxed, calm, focused, unstoppable, powerful, connected, confident, all we want our beliefs to do is be able to put us in a positive state of being. When we're relaxed, we can think most clearly. When we're focused, we're more likely to achieve things. It's like a magnifying glass, focusing the sun's rays and actually being able to burn something. So the more focused we are, the more likely we are to achieve what we want to achieve. If we're feeling confident, we're more likely to draw to us those people and things that we need for us to achieve whatever it is we want to achieve. So what should we believe? The beliefs that empower us. What do we get rid of? The beliefs that disempower us. So here's the $1 million question. How do I change my beliefs? And I'm going to talk a little bit later about the ways that we work on changing beliefs at World's Biggest Gym. It's a little bit more funky. It's a little bit more NLP. There's, specific techniques. But what I'm going to tell you is this is one way that you can actually, by yourself, work on changing your beliefs. So this is the self-applied version. First, become completely aware. And this is raising that consciousness to become aware of what your beliefs are. Working out, and you can even work backwards. Which areas of your life are you having the biggest challenge? And then looking at, do I have a belief that's leading me towards this challenge? The more aware we are of what we're doing, good, bad, or otherwise, the more we're able to do something about it. So awareness is always the first step. Then we want to choose. We want to choose what our new belief is. We want to plant the seed of that empowering belief. So we want to choose the belief that we want to feel. We want to plant that in our mind, and we do that by repetition. So, repeating something over and over, that's how the brain learns. That's how new neural networks are created within the mind. So that repetition, planning. And then we want to act as if. So this is, along the lines of cognitive behavioural therapy, where we want to actually think it. We also want to move. We also want to behave in that way as well. So again, it deepens up those connections that we have within our brain. So that is the self-applied version. Become aware, choose a new belief, plan it by repetition, and then acting in the way as if it is already true. So conscious living is about choosing conscious empowered beliefs, allowing them to manifest in conscious actions, which leads us to our desired results. So, I've got the question thing there. Obviously, you can't ask me a question now. However, if you do have any questions, make sure you ask those questions. You can track down me. Just about every single email that goes through some channel of World's Biggest Gym will land up in my lap, or jump on Facebook and connect that way. I'm more than willing to have you ask questions of me. And if it's a question I think will be beneficial for everyone to hear of, I might even write a blog about it or do a podcast about it. So you might be helping not only yourself, but plenty others as well. Okay, so the second biggest piece, so we want to move towards pleasure. So here we are, moving towards pleasure. If we're unsure of what we want, unsure of what is out in front of us, it's going to slow us down. The more we get clear about what we want, the more inspired we get, the more emotionally engaged. The more emotionally engaged we get, because we're very clear about that vision, the more powerful we move through, the more energized we are, the more energy we have. So I was with a client the other day, and they were saying they had low energy. I don't know what it is. I've got low energy. I can't get out of bed in the morning. I feel so flat. I don't know whether it's because of the food I'm eating or, the exercise, whatever. I'm like, It's got nothing to do with any of that. It's because you're not doing anything that inspires you. Your work is not inspiring you, so you're not excited to get out of bed. On the weekends, I have no problems jumping out of bed, but through the week. So, and I said to that person, I said, if you thought about right now, one of your best friends just lands into town, you haven't seen them for a while, you've got the opportunity to go out with them one night. Previously, you're laying on the couch going, I've got no energy. You get a phone call from that friend saying, let's go out. Where's that energy come from that suddenly has you jumping off that couch and running around the room and getting all excited? You always had it inside you. So it's about getting inspired. So I took this model from a great guy, Tal Ben-Shahar, who wrote the book Happier. Harvard professor, 20% of the people who go to Harvard were doing his positive psychology courses. Now, his study of happiness, he suggested that happiness requires two big things. It requires current pleasure, so it requires pleasure in the moment, and it also requires future purpose. So we need to have that goal, that purposeful goal that's out in front of us, that draws us to it, that inspires us, it pulls us along. Absolutely essential to happiness. So are your goals clear and compelling? And that's something that, I want you to take away after this is starting to think about, what are they? And what are the reasons for them? Like, do they compel you? What do you really want? So many people, when asked what they really want in life, really don't know. And that can be a few things. That can be confusion because there's too many choices. That can be fear about moving forward or fear of saying this is what I want, for fear that it may not be forthcoming and therefore you'll feel the regret of not having achieved that. So there can be a number of things. But what is it that you truly want? And what's it look like? Because once we get this vision in our head, once we truly identify what this thing is that we want, and we have that vision in our mind, what it allows us to do is, at a conscious level, we see this thing, we visualize it. What it allows us to do is at a subconscious level, our subconscious mind starts to help us achieve that. Because the subconscious mind wants to close the gap between the vision and the existence. It wants to close that reality gap. So there's a little bit of discomfort going on in the brain, a bit of dynamic tension. It wants to help you achieve what you want to achieve, but it needs to know exactly what it is. If you've got different ideas flooding through your mind all the time, your brain gets confused about which you want. So it doesn't know which direction to go in and which way to help. The other thing is the power of words. Like, what does it sound like? If you were describing this thing, I want to go on a holiday. Like, what does that mean? What does that look like? What does that feel like? When does that happen? Is that in 20 years' time? Versus these, I want a holiday in Bali, staying in a 3-bedroom villa with pool and maid near the beach for 2 weeks. Now, that's a vision you can see. That's a vision your brain can actually help you achieve. Because your brain doesn't switch off. It's going 24/7, and it is trying to draw to you or bring you in front of all the things that can meet and that are in alignment with that thing that you most desire. The other thing I say about was when we have goals, it's important for us to be so clear on it. It's as if we're giving this goal statement to a third-party contractor who's going to deliver it for us. If it's confusing for that third-party contractor, then they're not going to be able to give you what you want. And this is the way that life returns things. This is the way the physical world returns things as well. You need to be really clear about what it is you want. And this is powerful stuff as well. And this is one of the keys to succeeding in the attainment of your goals is what are your reasons? You've got to have a big enough why. Because there are always challenges on the way to attainment of your goals. And the bigger your goals are, the bigger the challenges. That is just a given. So the thing that gets us through that is our big why. Because our big why gets us emotionally engaged. And we're emotionally engaged, we do what we got to do. If we're really, really hungry, which is an emotion, so we're going through this feeling of hunger, we go to great extremes to make sure we feed ourselves. So we want to engage our emotions, and we do that by having great reasons. So here's an example, and this is from different clients. I've sort of changed the story around, but the context is pretty much the same. So someone says, I want to be a doctor. Why? Because my father's a doctor, and it's a very noble profession. But I thought your passion was singing and songwriting. Yeah, but being a doctor is so much better because it is. So many people, and I ask my clients, if you don't have enough good reasons why you say you want a particular goal, then I'm sending you back to the drawing board, because that's not your goal. That's something you picked up along the way. Maybe it's your parents' goal. Maybe it's your partner's goal. Maybe it's a goal that your children have drawn out of you. Whatever it is. But it's about getting clear about what is your goal and having reasons and good quality, deep, inspiring, gut-churning reasons. And that's your rocket fuel. Rocket fuel is those compelling reasons. It's that emotional energy. That emotional energy actually causes our physical body to move. Our emotions are a chemical cocktail, a biochemical cocktail, moving through our body, neurochemicals from the brain. Hormones moving through our body. Now, the more of that is happening as a result of the feelings that we're having, because of the brilliant picture and the emotions that we've caught up in those great reasons, that's the thing that's going to drive you forward. So there you go. Again, if you've got any questions you want to ask about goals and goal setting, feel free to ask. So the key pieces we talked about tonight, I'm recording this at night, so I say tonight, whatever time it is, wherever you are. So the two key pieces. First, we want to replace those disempowering beliefs, and we want to replace them with empowering beliefs. You know, again, it frees up so much energy when we take away those disempowering beliefs. So I've seen people, switch a disempowering belief and suddenly go, I feel so much lighter. Suddenly they've got this weight off their shoulders. Suddenly they've got 20% more energy. It's powerful stuff. And the second thing is inspiring goals, like not just good goals, inspiring goals, not just a good goal statement, an awesome goal statement. And again, there's a great science to what a goal statement should look like, how it should be structured, how it should flow to get the greatest amount of emotional power behind it, and to activate as clearly and effectively as possible this, extremely powerful subconscious mind of ours. So there's certainly ways to do that even better. There's one more thing I wanted to say, and I thought this is a great model of Homer Simpson, a big doll. We only know what we know, and this is the challenge. Because the way it works, knowledge plus experience leads to wisdom, and it's our wisdom that allows us to make better choices and get those new results. So it's about learning this new stuff. So we need to be hungry for new knowledge. We need to be looking for the opportunities to get that knowledge. And I'm going to talk very shortly about some ways to increase your knowledge. So a solution that gives new knowledge, gives specific strategies, and gives specific physical experiences that leads to wisdom. And wisdom isn't just a thing. It's actually a restructuring of the mind. So there's new neural pathways, new neural networks, new neural connections as a result of that wisdom, as a result of learning something and then doing something. And it gives us better results. If we're doing those things, we're going to get better results because we're going to be making better choices, and we're going to be integrating our body, mind, and emotions. So I'm going to talk about the 30-Day Happiness Challenge, and that's the thing that I recommend to everyone that comes across my path as the best solution for really making changes and making changes at the inner level. Now, a client of mine, and he was seeing his doctor, and his doctor was just like, holy crap, what have you been doing? Tell me what you've been doing. I mean, complete transformation. So that is one of the things. So this 30-Day Happiness Challenge, it's results-focused, it's individually tailored for everyone's specific needs. It's supported, you're supported the whole way through with coaching, and it's the best scientific practices. There's that knowledge there, the understanding of why this works. And we don't only just teach you that, we'd like get you to step in the direction. So we're doing this cognitive, behavioral, emotional therapy stuff as you go along the way. So it's been effectively used by CEOs, elite athletes, single mothers, retirees, managers, actors, small business owners, and everyone and everything in between. So it's not just for a particular type of person, because it's all foundation stuff, and then the coaching makes it tailored to the individual. So it's really, really powerful. We've had people from all over the world do it. I haven't added a couple of ones there. Someone from Costa Rica, Mallorca, Spain, I think. Yep, we still haven't got that one on there as well. But people from all over the world have done the 30-day happiness challenge and got some amazing results. I had a client say that was the happiest they'd been in 8 years. Actually, every time I spoke to her, she said 8 years, and then one time it was 20 years, and then one time it was 12 years. Whatever the number was, she was in a beautiful place. I had a CEO that turned around a project by about $400,000 because of the strategy she learned, and because she was working on her inner self and she was in the right positive vibrational state to show up as the best person that she could be. We've had an elite athlete helped her make a comeback after 15 years, just before she turned 40 years of age. She had 2 children plus 2 children from her partner's previous marriage. She had a lot of stuff going on. She used the 30-day happiness challenge to prepare herself mentally, and she went on to become the 2011 World Water Skiing Champion. And I had a retiree one time, and she said that she had her money's worth before day one because of the program. My background was as an expert strategist, so this program is all about the strategy. And it's not just for unhappy people. I couldn't think of a better name to call it, the 30-day something or other challenge. It's not just for unhappy people. It's for people that want to make a change. Now, I've had clients who had serious health issues that have used the 30-day happiness challenge to change the way they're thinking, change the way they're behaving, and change their outlook, and led to significant changes in their health. I've had people who wanted a career change. I've had people who wanted to find the right partner, relationship stuff. So it's whatever. Someone wants to lose weight. Someone wants to run a marathon, whatever it is. So it's not just for unhappy people. I just want to clear that up. It's about increasing your energy, increasing your happiness, increasing your health, improving your relationships, increasing your self-worth, and increasing and changing your results in life. So this is what it looks like. So there's a preparation phase. So it says day 1 to 30 there, but as you can see, there's a whole bunch of stuff happening before it and a whole bunch of stuff happening after it. There's 6 weeks of bonus material after it. You're still getting some training, because what we want to do is we want to keep this momentum going. We get you to do daily rituals. We get you to form habits. And these habits are based on what science tells us are the greatest possible rituals we can do that will positively impact our happiness and our emotional health. So again, it's powerful stuff, and you're supported coaching-wise throughout, coaching calls throughout. Here's a picture of some of the coaches there, myself up in the top left there. I love that haircut on Ben there down the bottom right. Cool look. And also Linda and Georgia. So they're just some of the coaches. We have other coaches as well from different parts of the world. So what is this worth? First of all, most illnesses and diseases today are lifestyle related. What's it worth to lead a healthy, happy life? What's having a deep, passionate and fun relationship worth to you? Well, I mean, what would you pay for that? How about increased productivity, creativity and clarity? Maybe it allows you to get a job promotion. Maybe it allows you to get the job that you want. Maybe it allows you to get a bonus because you were so creative, you were so productive, and you were so clear. What about this increased level of consciousness and wisdom so you show up to life in a different way? I mean, what's that worth? And this is a funny thing. It always baffles me. I've been following a personal development path, and I've been doing that since 1999, and I've been spending a percentage of my salary each year specifically on personal development, whether it's buying books, buying programs, attending retreats or seminars, or going to do yoga classes or meditation classes or whatever it is. I've been spending money each year to do it. So someone will spend a couple of $1,000 on their car to just get a service, but how much do they spend on themselves? And which is more important? So what is it worth? The virtual coach, and this is something that is just new in the last couple of weeks, what I wanted to do was make the 30-day happiness challenge as affordable for everyone. So the virtual coach is me virtually coaching you, and it's just, I've coached so many people through this program. I know specifically the things that come up at different times. I lead you through that program. So that's powerful stuff. If you have a junior coach, $597. If you have a senior coach, $797. And if you have myself as a master coach, less than $1,000, which is absolutely a bargain. In fact, I should put that price up. What am I doing? So those are the prices for doing the 30-day happiness challenge. You'll definitely get your money's worth. And if you don't, by the end of the 30-day happiness challenge, if you're not at a higher level than when you started, you can ask for your money back. We know it works. Okay, so when would now be a good time to take a life to a whole new level? So little button pointing down below. Down below will be a link there that will take you to the 30-day happiness challenge where you can find out all the details. And you'll go through and you'll see all the material, all the things you get as part of the program. It really is a comprehensive program. Like I said, my background is as a strategist. I designed the 30-day happiness challenge based on my own personal experience and based on the last 10 plus years of everything that I've learnt through research, study and personal experience when it comes to raising our default level of happiness and making serious and significant changes in our life. So I really look forward to working with you, and I know my coaches are really excited about the opportunity to work with you. So jump on that link down below and click away and find out about the 30-day happiness challenge. We'd love to have you. Now, if you're still not sure, you've still got some concerns, make sure you send a shout out. If you want to go on a payment plan, we've got the opportunity to do that as well. So we don't want anyone to be excluded from the opportunity of doing the 30-day happiness challenge because of any other reasons. And we know once you do the program, things will change in a big way. So I look forward to working with you soon, or one of my fantastic coaches looks forward to working with you soon. I hope that you're having an absolutely amazing day wherever you are on this fantastic, incredible, gorgeous, wonderful planet of ours. All the very best and take care.